figure out what your vices are. Everybody has different vices and different temptations. Not everybody is tempted to steal stuff. Not everybody is tempted with, pride and vanity. Everybody has different vices and temptations. So when you go into the Orthodox Church and you find a spiritual father, you'll be working with him on how to deal with those passions and those vices. So easy examples, drinking, right? I would highly recommend that you stop drinking, actually. Now, social drinking with your friends is fine, although a lot of people do that all the time, and that's not really good. But I mean, alcohol is really bad for you, obviously. You're going to put on a lot of weight. You're going to lose a lot of energy that you could be putting into the things that I'm talking about, especially things relating to the business that you might want to start. If you don't drink, do you know how much more of a output you can have in terms of content, in terms of your work and your focus? It'll be 2 or 3 times greater than if you were a regular drinker, because you're going to be tired, you're groggy, you're going to be, waking up the next day and you don't feel like doing anything. So, what I found that was most beneficial for me was to just completely quit drinking, and it worked stellar for me. That I did that many years ago, and I think that in my case, it really increased my work output, 3 or 4-fold. Other vices for you, it could be something like you're spending too much time on video games. You're spending too much time, doing this or that, whatever. And it may not be a sinful thing. It might be something that's just it takes too much of your time, or it is something that's unhealthy, right? Maybe you are, I don't know, you smoke too much, right? Too much tobacco, whatever. So again, start working on not just cutting down vices, but getting them to the point where you can not do them at all if you want to. So next up, of course, is exercise, and exercise is crucial. Back in my 20s when I was obsessed with books, enmeshed in all these books that you see around here, I didn't think that exercise was that big of a deal. I just kind of forgot about it. But if you're completely focused on one thing, then you've got blinders and you're not well-rounded. So you definitely want to be in some way every day engaging in consistent forms of vigorous exercise. To the gym, that's up to you. If you want to hike, you want to play basketball, you want to run, whatever, that's your choice. But I highly recommend doing something every day in this regard. And at the same time, I would say reading is crucial. Like if you were to come to my house, you would notice 2 different rooms just like this one, full of books. Basically half of the house is a giant library. Blessed to grow up with a family and others who were bibliophiles, just really into books. So it was always natural to me. That was sort of what the air I breathed. But not everybody is raised with this or thinks this way. So I would recommend cultivating that attitude, that habit. And don't start with something gigantic. Start with something that you would enjoy to read, right? Find something that's a fiction thing that you think would be fun. Maybe you want to start with Michael Crichton. You want to start with War of the Worlds, whatever. But start cultivating the process of reading in things that are fun. And then you can build up to the more serious type of research that I do. And if you do that, you want to start taking notes and really remembering the content that you're taking in. And for me, it's very helpful to be tactile. I want to write in the book. I want to put notes in the margin. A lot of people don't want to do that. Whatever you want to do is up to you. But for me, that helps imprint it in here. And that's really what matters, right? Putting that information upstairs so that you can have it ready to go. So cultivating a habit of reading every day is very important, especially scripture, right? So that should be kind of mainly what you want to start reading every day, and then branching out from there. You want to be involved in, I would say, limiting your time that you engage with sports ball, with video games, with fantasy football. All of that kind of stuff is synthetic replacement manhood, and it's also a distraction from what really matters. It's a waste of your time. And while those things are fine in themselves, they just become, in our culture, gigantic idols. People throw away all of their time in all these things. It saps away all of their energy, right? Whether it's UFC or whether it's NFL or NBA or whatever it is. And especially for guys that are more intellectual, video games, everybody just plays video games for hours and hours and hours. I put so much of my time when I was younger into video games that, again, looking back, how you spend your time is going to be very important to you as you get older. You're going to notice the value of time more and more. And you'll start to think and realize, man, I really should have put a lot of that time into the projects that would be advantageous for me in terms of being an entrepreneur, right? Rather than letting those kinds of things suck away so much of your time. Lastly, I would say your appearance also is very important, especially if you're going to be out there trying to start a business, trying to do things that would project and give you power in the world. Then your appearance is going to be very important. Now, sometimes you see me on stream, I'm in more of a jokey mood, I'm wearing something ridiculous. That's part of what I do, that's part of me. And I would say that for you, your appearance, it really should reflect who you are, but it should reflect the kind of person that you're trying to be, right? Or the who you are that you want to be, right? If you're a slob dude laying around in pajamas right now, that's not what you want to project, even though that might be what you really are right now, right? So you could find your own style, so to speak, and be yourself in a way that your appearance can reflect that, but also at the same time being classy about it, being unique, being, being weird perhaps. Like for me, my style is to be, I don't know, James Bond in Miami, right? Don Johnson, Miami Vice. That's just the aesthetic that appealed to me. It really reflects kind of just the weirdness and goofiness of my character. So when I'm out there, if you go meet me at a meetup, a book signing, whatever, I'm going to be dressed appropriate for that setting. That's another thing that most people in our society don't do. They don't dress appropriate to the settings. They will dress down or they'll dress like children. It's very important that we be mature even in the way that we dress. Doesn't mean that you have to have Gucci or whatever, but if you do want to be, snazzy, that's fine as well. I mean, I typically do favor something more on the preppy side of things, right? If you were to meet me and hang out with me in public, it's going to be preppy, but also a little bit of weird, right? So, but that's, what you want to do is up to you. But I would say try to have appropriate outfits for different settings and always try to dress a little bit better than what most people around you are doing. That's always an advantageous thing to do. And because you'll stand out, right? If it's in the workplace, right? The old dictum is dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. That's a good idea, actually. And you'll find that if you dress really nice, people will treat you different, especially if you wear sport coat or a suit pretty consistently. People are going to look at you and treat you in a more respectful way. I kid you not. It really does happen. So that's why I would definitely recommend working on your appearance. It's not everything, but it does matter. So, that includes things like don't have a bunch of gauges, don't have a bunch of giant face tats everywhere, whatever. Don't have, purple, blue hair, right? You can be yourself and be unique without these sort of pseudo attempts at getting attention, right? So those are the things I would say. And on top of that, there's also the notion of supplementation, which is very important because our diets are nutrient deficient. The soils are nutrient depleted. So one of the best ways to do that is to go to my show sponsor below, choq.com, choq.com. Go over to Choq and you'll find there supplements that will meet pretty much any of the needs that you have. If you're looking for just daily energy boost, I would say the Action 2.0 is a great product. If you're looking for just overall supplementation to your new health-based diet that you have, organic diet, keto diet, carnivore diet, I would say supplement with the Daily. If you're looking for 100% pure organic cold-pressed Tomcat Elite